Hey, I thought I'd just make a video on the Gearbox top cover. This actually is one from a Dolomite Sprint. I bought a Dolomite Sprint gearbox with overdrive, and I took the gearbox apart just mainly for the overdrive that is currently in my Triumph Stag. So let's just walk through a couple of things. So this, as you can see, is the gearbox with these forks. These are I think made of bronze, and these move the synchronizers back and forward, and these bolts, these screws are held in. Some of them are actually have a hole through them so you can wire them up, but you need to put them, I think, on 3 to 7 pounds of force to get them in. Now what happens with the gearbox top cover is there is these rails, and underneath this cover there are two screws that hold some O-rings on them, and they do leak over time. And so what you have to do is remove these rails. So you have to take these out one at a time and slide them out. Now here's the other issue that you have to address, is if you see here, there's these little plugs, and underneath these plugs are, if I remember correctly, a bearing and a small spring. And the way that you can get these out is there, one person told me, is that you get a tap and tap them in and then pull the tap out, and that's one way to get these out of this top cover. And then you have to undo the various forks. This one is the reverse fork, and this, if some, this is the reverse solenoid for the reverse, so it's on the side. And if we turn it over, you can see there is one on the top, and that's for overdrive. These different Triumphs had these holes cut out at different points. Just put this here, particularly damage it. And so, something went here, but obviously sometimes you can double it up and use the different, they are threaded. Some of them are threaded, some of them are not, and capped off. Anyway, these are the incorrect bolts, but they were all needed cleaning up, so I just put them on. Now my gearbox that I got from another Stag does not have this cover. I've seen some of them, some of the Stags have this cover, some of them don't. I haven't opened it. Maybe I'll have a look underneath what's going on behind there. Now another thing that you want to be aware of is people talk about a breather on these, and that breather is a very small hole just there. That is the gearbox breather. And sometimes I suppose, depending on how much crap you have on the car, it could be pretty bad. But that breather, if I notice, it will enter in one of these slots. So this capped off at the end, and that's for the gearbox breather. So basically, yeah, that's all you have to do. Now when you you'll see some sort of washers here on the ends of the switches, various switches. What the book says is something about tightening them up and adding or removing these washers. You can buy them, but you could use gasket paper, would probably do the same thing. And another thing which I noticed on one of my gearbox top covers is in your Stag or any Triumph, typically to get it into reverse, you have to pull the lever up and slide it over. But what happens is, you can't make out from here, is the this fork wears out, and that step, which I can see it but my camera can't pick it up, wears over time, and so that will enable you just to slide the gearbox into reverse. But normally what you do is you pull up the lever, slide it over, and it engages into reverse. So just thought I'd talk about the gearbox top cover. And again, this one was from a Dolomite Sprint, but more or less the same as the Stag with an overdrive. It already has the overdrive switch, so that's why I'm keeping it. Okay.